There we go. So welcome aboard, Carl.
Thank you. Just hang on, I've got it. Let me just delete this off my screen.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm good to go now.
Tidy.
Right. Good evening, gents. I'm not too sure we got any ladies present, have we?
No,
I'm
not
thinking
yet.
about it.
Right. So obviously, my name's Karl Humpries. So I thought I'd start off with a bit of an imagination time. I do quite a few bling spiders over the year, and people say, where do the ideas come from? Well, it was anything sparkly. So what we decided to do was have a look through the sweetie jar and draw when the kids come round, and you end up with things like this: Rebels, Turkish Delight, McCoys. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are actually going to be my bodies to these flies. Yeah. So there's going to be a little bit of cutting, a lot of swearing if it doesn't go right. Yeah. So obviously I'll leave you to edit that for me if it doesn't, Derek. But look, let's go. Obviously, one of my little bling spiders, especially this time of year for the grayling. And I don't have names for them. But what I'm going to start off with, I'm going to tie it a little bit bigger. Normally, I tie it on a 12s if I was fishing for the grayling, and I'm on a Daiichi 1530 size 10. Now, it is a barbed hook. I'm going to be messing around with these different sort of hooks with barbs, without barbs. The reason being, I catch a lot of salmon and sea trout on these patterns, and bass as well as, yeah. So I have the option, if I'm not fishing for them, just to crimp that barb down. So it's a very traditionally shaped hook, yeah, a standard wet, as I would refer it to, on a middleweight iron there, basically. So I'm going to start off, going to get myself, where am I? A little flat danville. This is a 12 standard start off, up by the eye, 45 degrees off with the thread, so I don't even have to look where I'm going. And just nice, touching all the way down. I'm going to stop part way and cut the tail off there. So I want to bling this up now, so I'm going to go with, at the back end here, a high vis, very, very fine floss, and it's literally super pink. I don't know if you can see that. It's quite difficult. Let me stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull him back out of the way. Hi, Chris.
Oh, yeah, you're all right.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Looking very smart tonight.
Well, I've done my hair, put my lipstick on. Yeah, I've got to look pretty for you guys down there.
Took you a while then.
Yeah, it took a while. I've been here at 2 o'clock I started, and it's still not worked out right. Okay, that's in. Just got to bring myself down now. There's nothing pretty about these. Just easy to dress, and you're away. Take that off now. No rib. Right, what I'm going to do is just cut out, as you would be doing. I don't know, let me just pick out one of these. If you're going to buy holographic thread, it's going to come in, I don't know, that's a couple of mil, 2 or 3 mil. So I'm going to cut out my Turkish Delight wrapper. It's about the same sort of size.
Oh, I thought you used the content, not the wrapper.
I bet the content, mate. You don't get a body like this. Right, so I'm just going to get the portion that I want to use there without all the writing on it. So to my Turkish Delight wrapper now, I've taken out that. All I'm going to do is that we said before, 2 or 3 mil cut along that edge, and you'll get 3 or 4 flies. out to one unit like that. Never throw it away. So I'm here to go now. Going to nip off that corner. Just makes life easier to tie in. Bear in mind, when you present this, there's a silver side and this sort of sharp pink side, off pink. Yeah, tie in silver up on top. So I'm just going to bring my thread down part way, just where the point is of my hook. Just nice and easy. Nip in. Pull through and just lift up to where that little butt section is, and then all the way back down. Hackle pliers, just nip through. Such an easy way of doing bodies. Really effective. Look at that glow. I can even see that under these standard lights here. Right over the top. Give yourself some room. Put a bit of a thorax in.
Do you ever add a touch of super glue to the body before you wrap it?
No, but I'm going to do something similar after I've finished. Because what I'm just going to do is nip into my varnish pot and just run down just over the top. You know, it's not going to break or, you know, give way. So I want something with a little bit of luster on it here now. And it really is down to your imagination. So I'm going to use some UV dubbing here. Yeah, there's all different colours in this. This is just an olive with a very, very blue fleck to it. Now, for those of you that know, obviously dubbing, just nice and easy. Just a little bit and one way. I'm not going to use a loop or anything like that, a twirler. Just nice and easy, and you're on. Now, I always, on these sorts of spiders, put a thorax in because I want my forward hackle to break over. So there we go. Real simple. Halfway done. Next, I'm going to choose, well, it could be anything from woodcock to coot to moorhen to grouse. But I get quite a lot of feral pigeons in the garden. So every now and again, they start to shed these little feathers. There's quite a few of them here. I just collect them in a little pot and pick them up, you know, when I'm whizzing around pruning the deadheads off the roses. Now, for me, it always has to be that shaped feather and a soft hackle. It's important, not a you know, a cock hackle, more of a hen hackle. It would be on, yeah, the moorhen. Same with the woodcock and the grouse. Obviously, I picked up off Stevie Cooper. Just saved me getting a whole skin. I'm just going to take this bottom section off nice and easy. These are really, really simple things to do, guys. I'm going to tie it in the wrong way round. I'm just going to get my hackle pliers. We're in that position then. But it's this other end I want in. I don't tie into the thick end because it produces a bulk at the eye. All I'm going to do now is turn it round, hold that feather left-handed, and just nip the top here. And pull back. So you're in that position now. And there's a little triangle here at the top where the pliers are gripping into the top part of that feather. I'm going to pull it away now and just nice and easy make a cut directly across the top of that. So I've now got a triangle just there for me to tie in.
Yeah.
So now I could wax, or I can do what I'm just going to do now is get a little bit of varnish on the end there and just nip tip bit of my eye there. So it's just going to hold that. Now that feather is going to go in convex over the top. So I'm tying in like that. Only got a couple on it. Really, really fine. So I've got a couple more in just to make sure. Hackle pliers again now. I'll do a couple of these with different materials so you get the gist of it. And I'm in. So now doubling it, going to pull those hackles onto one side. Just nice and easy. Keep pulling in. 2 or 3 times. Because I want this hackle to move as we go through. Okay, I'm there now. 1, 2, 3. So for me, the most important piece of your equipment are the scissors. You know, if you can, buy good quality ones. So not going to make a snip as a cut. I'm just going to push in and pull onto it. If I cut, there's a chance I'm going to lose part of that hackle. So I've got a few there that can just tease back and push in. So I've got one loose one there, and there we go. So where do we go now? We need a little bit of holographic. This is fine holographic and silver. Just going to cut a little piece of that off. And to bling it up even more and make it like an attractive, bit like with a little gold head on. Going to offer this up to the top part of the eye. And just kick in. Hold the back and sweep round. We're fairly tight. So now I'm just going to 1, 2, under and over the top. Right. For those of you that might struggle where you've got a downward pointing hook that way coming in, if you put too much on and pull too hard, the thread comes off that way. If you turn your vice that way, you've got that little lump there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Snip in there. Make that snip. And it really is that simple, guys. There's one, particularly Turkish Delight Bling Spider. Little bit of varnish at the tip just to make sure that holographic goes nowhere. Which is there. And then, as Derek pointed out earlier, could have super glued it. I'm just going to run that straight down the back and it's in. Job done. That simple. Now those probably account for more grayling, brown trout, salmon and sea trout for me than most things, just playing with the materials that we have around the house. You know, you do the little weevils, don't throw them away, guys. You know, I mean, I keep that much stuff. It's frightening. I've got all the Christmas materials here as well. So don't throw it, it can be used. And in fairness, you know, they're quite an attractive little fly to fish with.
Could you hold that up to the camera, please, Carl?
Right, let me get a peg.
Oh, it is blingy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Contrasting colours as well, the head and the body.
Yeah. At the end of the day, guys, part of this, it's great reading the book and coming up with what says in the book. But your imagination as a fly dresser is probably the best thing you've ever got. You know, somebody had an imagination in the first place to put it in the book. You know, don't be scared of having a mess around with the stuff for me. You know, if it's out there, I spend hours just messing. You know, I can't give people names to things that I do. There aren't names. You know, there's just ideas as much as anything else. But if I take that, I'll leave that one there a moment. Let me go back, get another one. Just to say with the body section this time, right. Try to bling him up again. Just simply this time, fierce, and it really is a heavy yellow thread, very, very fine. Not going to use flossies. Most of these, what we're going to be using tonight, are either glow brights or really blingy things to put butts or tags in. Yeah. Butt section here, going to do a different way this time. Going to butt this section up at this end. Okay, so I'm built up there now. So when we were out walking through lockdown, I picked so many different forms of feathers up. We've got heron, goose, magpie, egret, buzzard, tawny owl, wood pigeon. Just all from round the parks where we live or in the garden. Don't throw them away. Something can be made of them. Yeah. So just for the sake of this one, I'm going to pick up this Canada goose. God, there must be hundreds of these things knocking around. That's going to be obviously my body. I just do need to put a little rib in with this one. So what I'm going to do from a rib, I don't know if you can see, it's a UV rib. So I'm still blinging it, although I'm using a duller material. So got a UV rib here, and it's called Troutline UV Ribbing Fibre, colour violet. So like all of you, it's literally fly line, mono, with a vis onto it. So I'm just going to nip in. Let me get my black down there. Right, we're there.
Still a size 12.
Still, yeah. All these I would tie, as I said before, on anything from the 16s, 14s, 12s, 10s, even an 8s. You know, we've even caught bass on them and mackerel. So back over to this goose section now. I'm just going to take the longer part out of it. It just gives me a little bit more to play with. I'm probably going to get 4 or 5 independent fibers there, like so. Once again, I'm going to tie in at the thin end, because as it tapers out, you want the body to go like that as it comes outwards. Yeah, like a set of shoulders. So nice and easy, straight onto the top, little pinch and loop down, secure, and you're in. Just get rid of that. There we go. So I'm take her back now to where we put that little foot in. I'm going to bring her through this time all the way. I'm going to get a level hook, no dents in it, where a drop off, where the material's been, and just try and bring it forward like so. And there. Right. Bring these up together with your hackle pliers. Nip. Like so. Just missed one of the fibers there, so I'll re-jig. Nice and easy now. Just make your way forward. A bit like doing a grey goose nymph. We're there. Just lost 2 of the fibers and just come out. So I'll probably just grab them 2. Like so. Bring them up over the top. And we're there. So they're now locked in. Get rid of them. those little dog ends. With this, obviously, we've gone that way, clockwise. Just going to cut this a little bit just to make life a bit easier for me to maneuver. And then nice and easy with the UV, just come through. 1, 2, 3. Lock in. Okay, we're back there now. This time, I'm going to bling it up with a little bit more black. So this, yet again, is a black superfine UV dubbing. No twirler, just by hand. You don't need to use a twirler when you're just doing really, really fine bits of dubbing. And it literally is. It's that, guys. Hardly anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one little bit there, and that one way, and you're on. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you have problems doing those. Evening, Paul.
Hi, Carl.
It's nice and easy. And you're back in. Don't worry about the little bits that drop down, because you're going to sweep them back in a minute when we change over. We'll put a bit of grouse on this time. So this has come from Cookshill and Steve Cooper. He's bagged me a load of smaller stuff here. So yet again, I'm back into that format that we did with the last one. It's that small round feather. And think about it being proportional to this as well. You know, I don't want a big bunch of hackle sweeping too far back. The thorax for me with the spider always makes it move. It makes it pulse, which we said before. So once again, take that bottom end out. Don't need it at all. It's gone. Back to there. That little V again at the top. So I don't get that bulky eye section where I'm finishing off. The little V. Over my white background. Cut away. In on the top. And we're good to go. Chances are, will it slip out this time though, because I've not used varnish? Yeah, let's have a go. Might not. Still going to double it. Sweep them back. And don't pull hard, guys. Just let that feather naturally wind in as you go with it. There you go. Working a way forward. We're locked in. Push the fibre thread away with your left hand, that thing, and then just slide in. And hopefully you won't chop it. And now I can tidy that front end. Everything was double through, so I can just see there. And once again, I'm going to bling it up with a little bit of holographic. I will put some varnish in this time just to make sure that it doesn't slip on me. That there. 1, 2. Just lock. And then bring it to the side. 1 over the top. Nip in. I'll get this in front of the camera as well, Derek, in a minute. Make life a bit easier.
Cheers.
But they are not difficult flies to dress, but they will be productive. I know these catch the little browns where you were fishing up at Big Island the other day, Derek, so
I used the wrong flies then, didn't I?
I don't know about that. You know, it's also about on the day as well. And put a bit of varnish on that butt section up there just to make sure that'll break. So there we go. Most of that's been things that we've been picked up around.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Very good.
They're not difficult to tie. You know, I have a little Orvis box, which most of the guys know, and there must be about 500 flies in it. You know, I don't carry a lot of stuff with me at all. In fact, if it doesn't go down the front of my chest waders, including my lunch, it doesn't go fishing. Yeah. I mean, you know, we've all got jackets, we've all got great big waistcoats and everything. The downside is they've all got 600 pockets. Yeah. And you're all laughing because you've all got stuff in these pockets. You carry 45,000 flies with you and you don't use more than 12 a season. It's like being a course fisherman. You use 6 floats over the year, but the other 6,000 are there just in case.
Yeah.
And we all do it. You know, I mean, if you talk to my wife, she associates it, you know, angling as a jerk at one end, waiting for a jerk at the other, or I'm a collector of fine antiquities and shit. You know, but it is what it is. But simple things like that, for me, have caught fish. I've stopped time complicated things for people in their demos now because I just wanted people to go away and have a go. That little spider there with that glow bright body, yeah, which is a number 5, glow bright, has probably been my most successful pattern as a body. This is that I've ever tied on a spot. It's caught everything in most countries.
So what are we going to call that then? A little UV red goose spider?
Jack, I'll let you call it whatever you want. You are the man. Yeah. But that, I mean, Paul will tell you, is a little orange pattern that has been devastating on most of the English rivers. I mean, it's caught with salmon in Iceland and Norway and Scotland. It catches regularly on the Dee. But all as it is a glow bright body. Grayling, love it. If I was going to pick a target colour for a grayling, it's either going to be that glow bright orange or pink. And the theory behind that is, and you know, grayling do migrate. That's why the salmon anglers and the gillies years and years ago used to throw them up the bank for vermin. But if you think why they are such a good colour, it's the colour of salmon eggs. You know, that's what they were following upstream. High protein value of salmon eggs, which, you know, you get the opaque pinky one and you get the germinated big orange ones. You know, so that's why for me they've always been target colours. Like the red, I suppose, on a red tag, you know, steely blue. You know, but they've always had a target point put in them. Today we're brilliant, aren't we? We've got that many materials around. You know, I don't think I own one of those German flies. You know, is it hair fritz? You know, I still like messing around with little bits of stuff that you can pick up here, there, and everywhere. That was just 2 quick.
Paul,
Yeah.
have these this gathering of esteemed gentlemen witnessed your spider box?
Probably not.
I have.
I think you should show it to them. Have you not got it there with you?
It could take me 2 minutes to get it. Shall I get it?
I think
Guys,
you should
bear with me.
You should witness it.
Yeah, I've seen Carl's spider box.
Yeah. Brace yourself, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all got CNF boxes in regimented rows. Just wait.
It's just going to be all full of colours, is it, Paul?
Just wait and see, Derek and friends.
Don't throw your steridum tins away.
Okay, guys, that's my spider box. That's got size 10s in. It's my Orvis tub. And if I open that up to the camera, there'll be boxes like that from 16s, 14s, 12s, and 10s with literally hundreds in. Yeah. And all blinged up. Don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look particularly pretty like that, does it? But when they're out, you know, then there's all different sorts of colours, shapes, bits of things that have just sat down and tied. But, you know, there'll be 2 of them, and that's what will go in my pocket with some typic material, some disgorgers, a priest just in case, you never know. Wouldn't want it to suffer. That's it, you know, I fished with Paul, I fished with young Mr. Chris here and things like that. And they'll generally tell you that's literally all I take.
When you pull one of them out, don't you lose half a dozen?
No, I'm pretty good at it now at the end of the day, you know. And being truthful, once I've chose what I feel for the day, and I will always go and look at the river first. I wouldn't dream, you know, being in fisheries all my life, it used to fascinate me. You know, when I was at Darnford, we'd have 3 old boys come over from Wigan, and they'd sit in the lodge with you for half an hour and have a cup of coffee. And they'd say, well, what should we be doing? Where should we be going? So, well, go down onto the shallows, stick a team of 3 buzzers on, cast square across the wind and just let it drift round. And it'll tighten. Next minute, you see them coming down the car park with an ID line on and 2 small ferrets going the opposite way. You know, and then an hour later, they're back in the lodge. When did you last stock? We haven't had a bite. Well, you know, if you rewind the videotape an hour and a half, said go down there, do this, that, and the other, you know, for some unknown reason, people think you can Velcro them to the bottom, you know, and they are allowed to swim around, you know, so, you know, you do get all these scenarios. But for me, you know, the first love's always been the river, just because it changes every single time you go there. You know, and your quarry can be anything nowadays, you know, coarse fish come readily to the fly, you know, carp fishing, whether you're pike, whether you're zander, whether you're perch, whether you're chub, whether you're dace. You know, I've even caught bream out of Rutland up to £8 on a fly. You know, they will still have a go at it. You know, forget about the boilie and all the baits that go in. What did they naturally feed on years ago? The same as every other thing. You know, it's just about using the grey matter, isn't it, for when you go out there and having a look and seeing what comes off the river. I was with the guys the other day down at Cheltenham and Gloucester, and Dougie Betts was one of the most ingenious guys I'd ever come across, because I said to them, he only ever bought anything in white. Every material he bought was white. That's all he tied, white. Whether they were upwings, whether they were wets, whether they were nymphs, whether whatever. It was always white. And then he'd have a set of 24 Pentone pens. And he'd get down to the river, look what was coming off, and colour that sedge in that he tied in white to match it. Quite ingenious if you think about it.
Mm.
Every single thing was white, but by the end of the season, he'd got a box full of coloured patterns.
Yeah.
You know, it saves buying a box full of these, doesn't it? Yeah, if you're buying one colour
And a pen.
and a few pens, and he tied absolutely glorious patterns. I mean, Alan Bramley brought him over on a few occasions when he did the roadshow days for Partridge. You know, when the concept came about then, and I just thought, you know what, that's quite mind-blowing and revolutionary. Yeah, if you think about what he was actually doing, you know, and this is 20 odd years ago, just white, and then colour it in. Yeah. The other thing, when you look at footballers and things like that, you know, that the forerunner of a buzzer, you know, it was a bit of horsehair and some mole. That was your forerunner to every buzzer that's being tied or dressed nowadays. Yeah. Right, let me have another play. So I'm going to change over slightly here, and we're going to play with some more household materials. You all look very affluent, and I'm sure you've all had presents brought you over the years, and they've all been wrapped in beautiful ribbons. Yeah, I can tell there's a few people there smiling. Right. The stuff that we would use in the fly tying world would be called organza.
Yeah.
Yeah, for doing wings, for doing bodies, what have you. This is just as good. But all you need to do is cut it back. So you've got this leading edge here, which is there. So if I make the cut, and I'll show you in a minute, let me find a piece here that I can use a bit later on. So I'm going to be doing a little free swimming Ryko with this and shrimp. I'm going to cut about 3 mil, not too much, right the way along one edge of that ribbon.
Organza makes some lovely bodies.
Absolutely stunning. This does as well. So we've got to that now, and we're in that stage. What we've got to do now, dubbing needle, and pull out all those cross sections. So all that's being pulled out now, just nice and easy each time. You see all that coming out?
Yeah.
So we're taking it back to that initial edge. So what we've got now is where, see how it breaks, and all those have become independent little individual pieces, a little bit there. You see a couple there, adjustment, there we go. So now we've taken all that cross section that's going that way out just by sticking a dubbing needle in and pulling that way. So when we bend that round the body of the hook at the moment, it's all going to spray out, you know, and become like a little leggy section of those hairs going down the back of your whatever you want to call it. Right, so Glow Bright as an underbody, because I want a base that's a bit orangey in this, like some of the sedges. So I'm going to change over and bang in the hens BL 599. So it's black hook. We've got that curve in it like we'd be doing on a buzzer. I'm going to use both this for the shrimp and this little Ryko that we're going to be doing now. Glow Bright number 5, and it is going to be what I'm going to be using just to nip it in before I wind it round. This is going to be the underbody of that off-white section. He's going to turn the vise up and make life a bit easier for myself. I'll turn it back in a minute. I'm going to re-situate my hook so I can get a little bit more there. Okay, and I'm on. Got just basically a covered hook now in orange, so I just need to find what I did with that piece of material, which is here. There we go. Always put in a safe place, put it on the computer. I'm just going to nip out 3 or 4 of those fibres here at the bottom end. So you're just left with that little bit there, if you can see that. Just that bit there now is moved of the uprights. I need something to tie in. So still with this Glow Bright, just going to nip in there and hang on. It's still going to make my underbody. I'm coming round nice and easy. Not touching loops, but I'm doubling up on that body section then. Right, I can get rid of it now. There you go, because I'm going to change the thread colour in a minute. So that's just been secured in there. Don't worry about the dog ends. Nice and easy now. Right, let me get this hackle fly onto that ribbon. So it's not touching. It's fairly open. Remember to turn the hackle plier as you go, or else it won't come out right.
Hmm.
Can you see that body section coming in there now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to there, and we can leave this going nowhere. There's weight on. So going to go back onto this black thread, thread over the top. And underneath there, like so. There's that beautiful spiky body. You see how lustrous that'll get on the camera in a minute, Derek. So next thing, I need a top section of the thorax. So I did pull some out, but being me, I put it in such a good place I won't be able to find it. But you could use just standard polythene for this, guys, straight over the top. But I'm trying to mess around with a few different sorts of materials. So what I've got here is thin skin.
Hmm.
Thin skin, and it's the dappled, it's the green and the black. Yeah. You see that? I don't know if you can see the colouring on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just need to make a little thorax section there. So because I'm going to put a legging section in underneath there, I probably want that about, I don't know, 3 mil. Not massive. Just going to cut off that thin skin there. The hardest bit about this is getting it off
Vacuum.
the backing. It's a nightmare. That's what we've got now. Just that little bit there. So the hard bit now. Oh, are we there? No, we're not. No, it doesn't want to. Oh. No, it's decided it doesn't want to play with me. Let me have a go at the other end. Yeah. Come away that end. So there you go. Just a piece of dappled plastic now. Approximately 3 mil, but I'm going to put a point on that. And there is a matte side and a gloss side. I actually want the gloss side up, so we'll be tying in matte down. I'm just going to put this little V on it. Like so. So because I want the shiny bit up, I'm going to tie in that way. And it's just nipping it and making sure that it looks square, straight down the back. You see the vice?
Yeah.
So everything isn't canted to one side. You're going to come back over with this in a minute. I just need to figure out where and how far back, and we're there. So just to secure it, I'm going to drop a little bit of varnish on there. Loads of things you can put in there now. You can go onto your standard dubbings. You could put peacock herl in there, UV sorts of stuff. But I thought we'd have a go with tonight, just do something a little bit different. don't know if you can see, it's caddis legs. It's basically a string of, I don't know, softer deer hair. Pull through, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're ending up with bits like this. So because I want a little bit of a lighter one, and it's in this piece here, full leggy. Yeah. Dubbing already done for you. But like before, I just need to pull a little bit off this end so I can dress in. I've pulled out some of those fibres there for this deer and elk hair. So I've got the opportunity now, just nice and easy, to pull that in and tuck. Like so, yeah. Gonna get away with probably a couple of turns of this before I need to finish it off, yeah?
Yeah.
Like so. Just tease those fibres back so you can see that you've left enough room to get this thorax cover over the top. So nice and easy. Just going to pull him down and tease him down a bit so I get a leggy section. Right, so I'm just going to pull that back slightly, put a couple of turns there so it's kicked upwards. That way it's just going to enable me to get hold of this and pull it back. Okay, a couple of bit more severe turns now with a bit of pressure there. Okay, down through there. Bit of varnish on that front end just to make sure that it is going nowhere, like so. Derek, if you want these, you need to put them up and send them in the post.
When you're done tomorrow, could you photograph them and put them on the WhatsApp group for us?
Yeah. You see him?
Yeah.
How luster he is.
Yeah.
Now you can play around with those sorts. I'm going to do something similar in a minute with a shrimp for you. Yeah, but I just love this Organza. And it's just basically off your present ribbon. You know, I've got bags of it. You know, we just save everything. I mean,
What size was the hook, Carl?
Sorry?
12.
What size was the hook? 12.
12.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a bag of ribbon, you know, and the red makes a beautiful bloodworm in that format. Yeah. Maybe a little gold head on it just to get it down again. You could play with a gold head on these things. Yeah. I'm just trying to do things that, you know, you've not probably seen before.
Sure.
You know, and come up with an idea. Probably trim her off. I've got a few strand. There we go. It looks a bit more trimmed up and a bit more spectacular now. Yeah, right. So
His legs.
gonna bring her back onto the hen's hook again. But this time we're going to just do little shrimp. So it's back to the same hen's hook as we did before. That sort of shape. Right, something different completely this time. Jelly eggs. If you can see that there, yeah. So they are like a little bait that you put on there if you were fishing in the States for bass with a, you know, a standard coarse fishing setup here. These are orca ones. So all I'm just going to take out is one of these little rubber units. I'm going to thread in. Bring my hook to about halfway. Now I'm pretty sure that most of you will have seen that on a shrimp in the water anyway. It isn't to do with the egg, it's a little parasite that's within the creature itself. Yeah. So, but with that being softer and a bit more translucent, I mean, most people put it in with a dubbing, yeah, or a orange gold-headed thing, you know, a tungsten bead. It's a lot softer, that is. So what we're going to do now is do a two-part section of putting all this together. So this time I'm going to go back on what we did before, where it was violet with the UV. I'm going to go on to a white UV now, because I need this to be segmented. That's my UV again. You could actually use mono in fairness. I just quite like the lusters of the UVs. I'm a big fan of bright colours. I don't know why. It's probably bloody COVID. It's just nice to have a few bright things after having such a depressing time of over the last few years. Right, going to go on to a uni thread. It's a size 12. Oh, sorry, since it's finishing. Size 12 and olive. But because I'm doing it in two halves, I'm going to start here, guys, and build in. So we're going to be chopping. I want that middle section to look alive when we get to it. There's that little parasite within this freshwater shrimp. So the last thing that's going to be going on over the top is the first thing to go in. And it's that UV mono there. It's going to bed him in up to that jelly. Egg. Back down. So we've got that guy in now. Next, let me see if I can find a different colour mono to go at. No, I'll use the same sort of skin I did before, guys, in fairness. I think it'll be adequate to show everybody. It's more about how it's demoed and pulled in than anything else. I'm going back onto that thin skin again, same format, probably a bit wider this time though, 4 mil. What we're doing here is obviously a freshwater shrimp. Back in. Hardest bit as we did before was to just get that stuff away. Oh, getting better at that now. We're going that way, so I'm tying in from the back end this time. Still want it to be shiny. Still going to put that V in, that little arrow point here. It just makes it so much easier to tie in and grip it, yeah? So it tapers through. So that's going to be a lot easier, he says, to knit in. There we go. And I can bring that down all the way. Just keep following it down. Now, you can add lead to these or unweighted. Yeah, it depends how sacrificially. I would be using this on my middle dropper in fairness, but only that far away from the point fly, but with no weight. So it moves around a lot easier. Next, tend to buy, as I said at Cheltenham the other day, my cakes tend to come in two varieties. Now I tend to buy split ones to save on the cost in fairness. So it's half and half. I've got a grizzled olive and a full olive there. Yeah, just going to use the grizzle on this. It makes a nice legging section. Could actually go back and do it on the green organza, you know, the ribbon. Loads and loads of options when you're playing around with these. So that's taken from about there on the cake. Don't want it to be overly big. Don't want it at the top end. Want it nearer that neck section, maybe a quarter of the way up. And the way to judge it for me is just offer it up to the hook and just see that it's breaking below that point on those legs. And yet again, I'm going to go the other way. I don't like tying that way. So I'm going to tease and hold and pull out from this top end. So I'm in that wet section now. It's all teased away. This bit here, the bit I'm going to dress in, tie in, just come across, little pinch, hold, another little pinch, and just to secure it. And then I can take my thread right the way back down to where the plastic's joined in, this thin skin. Take that off the top. Right, let me find a softer. Now there we go. So I've got a crystal dub here. It's quite a light one, but there is a flash in it. Yeah. So it's going to flash green. And like most of you will know that when you start messing around with dubbings, they do change colour as soon as you put them in the water. So just nice and easy as we did before. This bottom end. Right, so don't try, once that dubbing's on, you've got that little piece here, always put least amounts on. You can always add to it. You don't want it overly bulky. Put your finger on and just push it in that way. If you push the other way, it puts a V in it. Yeah, so all we're going to do is take that round there now. It's nice and easy. Don't want it fat. Tease a little bit more out. And just put bits on gradually. A little bit more. Bless you, Chris. You okay?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Don't want to lose you. Going to come round now. Just stick it round the back of there, and I'll come up over the top section. Don't worry about that sticking up, because as soon as we apply that top section over there, it's going to break down. Okay, right, so that's 3 or 4 attempts just to get us to there now. So next one, nice and easy. Just run through, getting these legging sections now. Nip round the back there. And we're in. Always remember to leave enough room at this front end when you're doing these things, because you will run out of eye. So nice and easy. There we go. What you're going to do now with this character, tease them down and bring them over the top. You can pull in. Ooh. He's just broke on me, guys. Let me see if I can tease a bit hard and pull a bit more out. Now he's gone. Right, let's try again. One of the beauties of that is pulling too hard just to try and get that top section over. But what we can do here is cheat, because there's always a way out of it in fly dressing. What we need to do now is just come through. That back end again and just nip in. Caught him and let go, let go. There we are. Holding my breath now, guys, on this. I want to lose all them hackles. Teasing him out and bringing them down. Right, let's have another go. Right, we're in this time. And then square on the top. And I'll leave these hackles here coming forward over it, because they do make look like the original feelers coming in. 1, 2, as I rib him through. Put a bit of pressure on this middle bit now, just to pull him down. But that UV, I can actually see that really sparkling under these lights here. Yeah. 2. Right, he's in. So now.
That was a bag of clovers on this bit.
Sorry? Just tease some of these out now. There we go. If you look at it from that way now, it looks very opaque with that jelly there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Far more realistic than just putting a heavier unit in. If I push them down now. A little bit of varnish there on the head. And what you've got there .
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little glamorous there, but more opaque if you look at it from that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then underneath, really does look very, very natural that way of doing it with that little jelly unit in there.
Yeah.
Just a bit different.
Light enough to have good movement as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is it's got to have that movement. You need those feelers in there to make it work at the end of it. Now, I did this the other night because I mean, they've been around a long time, but I don't think the guys had actually seen them down at Cheltenham. And it's something called an umbrella hook. Anybody ever come across them?
Yes,
No.
at your house.
Yeah, my house, that would be, yeah, that's the place.
At the talk the other night.
Yeah, that was it. So I'll do this little ollie that I was doing the other night, just trying to get this back in the bag, guys. Make life a bit easier, tidy up a bit later on.
Can you get heavier gauges on those umbrella hooks, Carl?
No, those were the only ones that they actually do. They did 3 units, like a large, sorry, 2 units, a large and a medium. They didn't do a heavier gauge on them.
That's a shame. Because they're right, perfect for rivers, and I expect. But
Beautiful, absolutely.
if you want to put them on a still water with some, like Rutland, I don't think they stand much of a chance.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You just don't know, right, guys? What it is? It's an umbrella hook. Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people will have seen them. Right, let me get some tackle pliers on these just to show you a bit better. Oh, that's just flirted off. Andrew, get the Hoover.
Get your magnet out.
Get the magnet out. When you live in this house, guys, you have the Hoover handy. Don't know if you can see that against me.
Yeah,
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 that bit better.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a strange looking hook.
yeah.
Yeah, and the bit that we're going to dress on is just that there. That top section. So there's probably about 4 mil to actually get the whole dressing on there. So let's get up for the challenge.
To be fair, the gauge on that hook you're using looks a lot bigger than you did the other night.
It's the same one.
Oh, is it?
Same one, same hooks. Not move them.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Size 12.
Well, they don't do a small, apparently. I didn't know that. So again, as small as the 16s, medium 12s, large as the 10s. So, but considering there's no standardization within hooks, doesn't really matter, does it? You know, because you know that could be a 10 in somebody else's brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that can be a 10 in something else. It's quite strange, right? So.
I was referring to an 18's portrait shoot.
That, well, if you actually saw the original clink hammer, it looked like more like a lump hammer, didn't it? They were massive things. You know, size 6s, GRS. They are about that big.
Yeah.
And then they were bent in the vice to put that little V in there to put your post into. In fact, there you go, guys. Them are actually Huntsman clink hammers. He gave me those to show him when he stayed with us. They're massive things. Yeah, they are not a tiny like you see in the shops now. There's a clink hammer. You think of that as his business card and look at the size of the things. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a good mayfly size at the end of the day. Right, so going to go on to this green Benici. We're going to go just along the top here, and this is going to be, I did it the other night, a little detached body olive. I'm just preparing that top section. So this is the delicate bit now. Okay, so we've got nowhere to go. It's just on that there. Nothing. And if you that any better if I do that behind it? Can you see better? If I put a white sheet there. No, you can't, can you really?
No.
It's better against your t-shirt.
Yeah, it's not particularly brilliant, is it? You sort of disappear with that lighting. Do you think it's the backlight? If I took the backlight off, would it make life easier?
Try it.
That one there?
Yeah.
Where have you
Any
got?
better? No. Right, so what we've got here now is some detached bodies. Little floating units. And if you can see them, let me get that into a pair of hackle pliers. We're going to do a little olive more than a May. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just there. Yeah, you got that?
Yeah.
So I know that that's going to be way too big for the size of this book there. So I'm going to cut that down. And then we can have a mess and a play and put the bend in. Like so, so it kicks up a bit like a natural. So I'm going to go midway now down this body. I'm going to cut off where I feel it's going to be about the right length, and I'm losing half of that body at least. Need to keep it away from the eye. Right, can everybody see that?
Yeah.
So we've got this umbrella hook going down, that shape, and then this little detached body now breaking upwards there.
Yeah.
Some standard Antron now, had this year's, I think I had it from Phil White when he had Laugh Kill Tackle. So that'll tell you how long ago it is. I believe
Where
it's
are them books available from, Carl?
sorry?
Where are them books available from?
The hooks.
Yeah.
I actually got them. I've got a mate over in Japan that got them for me. So I've just got Tony some here today and sent them off to him. So I've got a couple of packets. If anybody wants me to send you a packet down, text me or stick it on the WhatsApp group, your number, and I'll send you a few down. You can have a play with them.
It's doing what that Lorenzo did at the Fly Fair a few years ago, isn't it?
Sort of, yeah. It's not far off.
Yeah.
Same sort of format.
Yeah, yeah.
Just playing something different, Tony.
Yeah.
I know you're there somewhere. I can recognise the voice.
Yeah.
Right, so that's just way too much again. So just halve it. Yeah, and get rid of that bit for the time being. So what you're left with is half of that unit there. Like so. Now, don't wrap it underneath like I see a lot of people doing, because you end up with a great big bulb here at the bottom section. Just nice and easy, flat on the top. Straight over down in the middle of that section that we just put on. And we're there. Yeah. So all you're going to do now is wrap it together to make one unit post. Bit fiddly because you've not got a lot of area to play with, as we said before. So we're there. Well, there's your post put in. And we can steady that a bit later on. I'll show you how to make that post a little bit more rigid. So next thing we need to put in is, that's wherever he's done with it, that hackle. that pulled out and they've just put down in such a safe place, it's blown off. Oh, you got to get another one. A little bit bigger this time. Okay, so I'm going to be measuring against on that sweep. So just measure over there, but everything's coming down as well. I'm going to tie in the conventional way this time now. I'm going to take all this bottom groove section off there. So I've got clean. Feather like so. All strip back now from there. Think how you're going to put them in, not that way, yeah. So you want that bevel coming in that way, yeah. Right up to the post. Couple in, a couple at the front, and as close to the post as you can get it. And get rid of this piece now. What we need to do now is lift this bit up because it's together with the post, because I need to put just a little bit of dubbing there at the front and the back. For the life of me, I don't know what I've done with the other bit of dubbing I had. There we go. So these are very, very soft muskrat dubbings. Yeah, so they really will take on water, but once you gink them up or CBC oil them, they pretty much float all day, but it's that fine. I did a misting session with this the other day, just to show somebody how you would mist the spider. I'll finish off with that in a minute. So really is hardly anything there, guys. It's there on the finger. Not even be able to see, it's that fine. It literally is that, and you're on. Tease in, just come round that back section there. Coming through. Make sure that post's together. And you're there. All this it's done is just taken the post and the feather of the grizzle and supported the post there, just covered it up. So there's not a lot of weight. So what have I done with my pliers? There we go. Don't go in that way across your feather. It never wraps well. Always, if you're going to put your hackle pliers on, come down the feather. Like so. Yeah. And just nice and easy. Pull that post. Just wrap round. Start to come down and take each one below, and you'll see your parachute form. Okay, you're there. So I'm going to drop that in and pull this back, those few there, and get a couple of turns on before I just slide in. I'm at that angle so I don't take my thread. And knit. Take them back still like slow, slow. Misty, sorry. that little tail up because I'm just going to position him in a minute for you and show you a cracking way of doing it. Just get a bit of varnish on underneath here, turn him around so I can get that weight, make life a bit easier for myself. Right, now to secure the post. Twizzle so it's stuck together there, and judge how much you want to see. And I don't want to go too far with that, so I'm going to make one clean cut now, straight off. What we did the other night there. Now this bit, just going to splay her out. And this is how you support the post. You get your varnish with a drop on and straight down the middle of that there, and just hold. And all that varnish is just dropped in through that post onto where we've wrapped that through that grizzle hattle. And simply, guys, kick her through, it's going nowhere. And you've got that lovely little detached olive.
Nice. Doesn't the fish see that great big hook hanging down underneath?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I should imagine they would, but I suppose if you're hungry enough and dinner's up there, you know, and they're going to have a go at it. I mean, I caught quite a few fish on this because I was quite, like you just said, optimistic whether that's actually going to work or not.
Yeah.
You know, with the big hook there. But why, you know, if it's going that way and you detach it, why should it not actually work?
Yeah.
You know, and giving it a go, you know, I'm a big experimenter. I love giving something a go to see if it actually works. But I just love that as a little olive.
Yeah.
And what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 materials to do that. Not counting the thread. You know, you got to put it. Detached body, hackle, bit of dubbing, and a bit of polylog at the top.
But not
Where
much.
do you hook the fish, in the lip instead of the
Yeah, they
corner?
usually here. They usually like that area there. Just it's always
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
on the bottom section.
Yeah.
You know, but there again, I suppose it depends how it takes it as well at the end of the day.
Yeah,
What it
yeah,
does do is support it really well on the top because the weight's underneath it.
Yeah.
But with that
Yeah,
hook,
pulling it
almost
down a
hooks
bit like, you
itself.
know, a cloth with its pendulum, that pulls it down to there. You know, so what the fish is actually seeing is that.
But the hook's the fish is actually hooking himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
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 But just a different method, guys. I'm just trying to be a little bit different for you here while we, you know, have a play around.
Thing is that the way you could look at it is that the hook dangling down in the water could be certain species laying eggs.
Yeah. You know, there's hundreds of things. I suppose you could mark it, you could colour it at the end of the day with a bit of orange pen on there as if it is, you know, laying eggs, dropping stuff or what have you. Right. I'll do one last spider, that favourite one, that orange one, and then I'm going to start packing my bags because I'm going to go up to the Lake District tomorrow morning with the wife for a long weekend. So this is actually one I said to you earlier on, probably takes me more fish than any other, and it is this glow dry. But I'm going to build it up, so there's quite a lot of body on this. Right, down in line with my barbies, and I'm just going to build it up. I'll go over this a few times. And what I would do about 4 or 5 of these and varnish them quite heavily, because that's what gives it its weight. So it's just building it up and trying to get that proportion where the eye end is just a little bit thicker, like so. That's how I would work that. Then I would layer in to varnish 3 or 4 coats. I know that I could use UV and all that sort of stuff, but I bought some varnish 30 years ago and I had a 2-gallon tub and I'm determined to get through it before I die.
Oy vey.
VFM.
What it is, it's yacht varnish, guys. You know, I mean, he'll tell you, Paul will tell you, if I bite, I bite. I mean, how much backing is there, Paul, on that roll I gave you the other day?
Good God.
30 miles.
I should have thought twice as much, probably.
You know, so this yacht varnish has been with me an awful long time, guys.
Do you thin it or just use it as?
Yeah, you just put a bit of thinners in it now and again, they'll thicken up. You know, it's like I say, it is just a standard yacht varnish. I build it up, just make sure it's all covered. I mean, I've done these down at Potteries for you, but this has been probably my successful fly, no matter whereabouts we fished it in the world. Now, this was the one they were laughing at me at in Iceland, the gillies there, until it started to catch. The other one was there's a guy there called Gilvy, and Iceland has a very short season, which I'm sure you're aware of, when you're fishing for salmon. You know, it's sort of just over 2 months, and Gilvy is one of the most respected barristers in Iceland, and he just basically shuts his practice for 2 months and goes gillying on the Laxa cage off. Most of you that know me know I don't actually drink, so when somebody comes out with half a pint of Macallan for me breakfast, I'm a bit sceptical of how my day's going to go. You know, I've got visions of me having about 30, 40 hooks in the head or something like that, because it can be quite windy in Iceland. Anyway, so we were out there, and this particular year, it's always about small in Iceland. It's got to be small, it's got to be size 18, it's got to be this, that, and the other. And, you know, if you're in a party, all the guys come out in the morning and all the rods are on top of the car. And they're always looking at the flies to see what you put on, you know, their recommendations, this, that, and the other. And my theory was, why aren't their Atlantic salmon any different than our Atlantic salmon? You know, when ours will take things bigger than that, why does it have to be this? So the year after I'd back and I tied up on a tube fly, it was the most gorgeous salmon fly I think I've ever tied on a tube. It was high vis, it got rubber legs on it and got wobbly eyes. And it was on top of the car, and he come out and I thought he was going to have a kitten when he saw it. Englishman, you come here, what are you doing with this sort of thing? He said, you know, catch with that, no way. And then he said, one of the most profound things I've ever heard in angling, if you catch with that, I'll eat me hat. Hour and a half later, I'm shouting, get the salt and pepper. It caught. You know, you're there to, you know, you're just going to aggravate it, aren't you, at the end of the day? Anyway, let me crack on with this one. And then I can go and give a 5 to hand this back. So, just nice and easy. Gone onto a black thread now. If you go away with one tonight and you want to fish it, this is the one for me. And I only really do tie what I would fish now. So I'm a really big fan of this dubbing, this UV dubbing. I use it in the salmon flies, I use it in a lot of my trout flies, I use it in a lot of the greyling flies, even some of the bass flies that we've been doing. So I'm just going to build a store after. Just a little bit of this. In at the top, push down, and just build it. And you're there. Now, my favourite feather of all for tying these little spiders has to be the humble grouse. I love red grouse just because of the shape and how flexible it is and how soft. It's so easy to use. And we're going to do exactly what we did earlier. All I've done is change the colour. Think about what you have on your time benches, guys, wherever you tie, and all the colours you could add into these things. Please go away and have a go with them. You know, I mean, So many people looked at me as if I was a lunatic when we did the articles and things over Bling spiders. And yeah, I've had so many phone calls saying, what a cracking little fly, what an idea. Yeah, all I did was plagiarise a spider. There's thousands of spiders inside. I mean, you can do these in purple. I've got high-vis purple threads and everything here. And it literally was just to bling it up. But for me, this has been the one. All the way through. We'll put a little bit of varnish on there with that. Because Derek's just told me I've got to take some pictures tomorrow morning. And I want them in one piece. There we go. Okay, so nice and easy. Double him up onto one side. Like a little amalgamation between a wet, isn't it, really, and a spider. You know, I wouldn't really truly call it one or the other. There we go, like my silver holographic, and then we're done. Tend to finish all the heads off with either colour or silvers and golds, or you know, some of the glow brights, but they will always have a little bit of a coloured head on them. Just pull him back in there now. Make sure the eye is clear. Go that way, so I've still got that little lump, so nothing slips off. Quick finish. Oh, that's got some varnish on there, doesn't want to let go. There we go. And that for me, chaps, has probably been the most successful spider, wet, whatever you call it, that I've ever fished. But you could argue the fact that it's that successful because it's my go-to fly. You know, it's the one fish.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually on, if I'm fishing a team of 3, it's on that system generally somewhere.
Confidence as well.
Sorry, Derek.
Confidence as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, everybody, you know, what's the best fly you're going to be using this year? Well, you've just said it. It's the fly you've got confidence in yourself. It doesn't I like it or it works for me or whatever. You know, it works for you. And, you know, I wasn't kidding earlier. We've all got thousands of flies, but I don't think I use more than 12 all year. You know, I mean, knowing Paul as I do, you know, if he's fishing a dry, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a grippy snat. Where are you, Paul?
Absolutely right. Yeah. Or a sparkle.
There you go, with sparkle. But we've all got a go-to flies because it works. And it's the confidence thing. Yeah. No matter where you are, whatever river you've been on, you know, you can go up to the E, you go over to the D, you go down to the Dane, you go to the Dove. But if you've got confidence in it, you know, and the more I've gone through it, it's also about presentation, isn't it? You know, if you go bouncing here, there and everywhere and slapping everything, it does make it really, really difficult. You know, make every cast count. You know, don't do the daft things. We all do daft things, I suppose. You know, something rises, you change your angle, the next thing you're up a tree. Yeah, we've all done that. Or, you know, in the case of one of my friends there, don't stand there on the D because you'll fall in. There's a big hole. The next minute, all as you can see is a naked guy running around Wales with all his clothes hanging over gorse bushes, drying out. You know, but we definitely don't always listen to it to good advice.
Yeah, and it was nothing to do with me.
No, but you know what he's like. Don't go there. Splash,
Mm.
You're not going to win, are you? Guys, can I be awfully cheeky and finish slightly early? Because I am going to go away tomorrow and I'm not packed yet.
Carl, one
I am
question.
prepared to come back and do another couple of hours later on if you'll have me.
Lovely. Carl, one
Okay.
question.
Yeah,
One question. You said you're going away tomorrow with the wife. Does Andrea know?
yeah, she knows at the moment. Yeah. The current Mrs. Humpries, you've got to keep her on her feet. Got to keep her on her toes, mate. Thank you for indulging me. Seriously, I'll come back and we'll have another play and a natter. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
Thanks, Carl.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take the pictures of all these. How many have we done? 6. I'll get them on the unit tomorrow, the WhatsApp.
Yeah, if you take a picture, put it on the WhatsApp with the material list, that'd be
Cheers,
great.
Carl.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow.
Thanks, Carl.
See you soon,
Thank
guys.
you,
Good
Carl.
night.
Thank you. Sorry I was late.
Turn everyone
Bye.
out.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Carl. Have a good weekend.
See you,
Yeah.
mate.
See you, Chris.
Good up.
Yeah. See you, Paul. See you guys.
Take care.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Derek. Sorry I was late.
Good
That's
night.
all right,
Good night.
mate. I could hear the clock ticking in the back.
Yeah, sorry. I realised when I saw you muted. It's half an hour slow and all. There's something wrong with it.
New batteries.
It's just had a new battery. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
think it
have
might.
stopped the recording.